But just a brief history of some of this planning. And about 5 years ago, Richard Griffin passed away. And Richard Griffin he left us a bequest of over $3 million. And it really drove, the deepening of the conversations of what can we do with the Parish Center and how could it be a service to the ministries of this parish. So really a long desired Parish Center became feasible. And meetings, we established a Parish Center building committee, started help the planning and to guide our design. And one of the things that we keep said is over and over in our meetings is what we design needs to meet our current needs and making sure that we can build for the future and facing the reality that there's a one-time shot to build this building. So we started getting into establishing what our needs are in our planning. The top of the list was funeral luncheons, the space we have, and the only space we have now for meetings is the Sacred Heart Room, which is in the basement of the rectory, and it's down steps. It's not handicap accessible. We can get about 60 people in there jammed in. So there's clear limitations on that room for funeral luncheons. Obviously we can't host a wedding banquet at this time. The bride's room, they use the Sacred Heart Room, so if there's any inclement weather, they're walking outside around the church into the front. Handicap accessibility, talked about the importance of being able to accommodate connection to this church, back and forth several times on the need for connecting or having it in a separate place. The challenge for storage that we always seem to have every time we clean out a storage room, within a year it seems to be jam-packed again. It's just keep going through that year after year. And then talking about the need for a basement for not only storage but also shelter. If any of you here were that 11 o'clock mass when the tornado went through Washington, we faced the quick reality. I think in my 9 years here, there's been 2 or 3 times where one time we actually went over to the gym. Most of the time I just had everybody sit down and pray and ask the angels to protect us. But we have no shelter. We're built on a concrete slab here. And so that's something to be reflecting on that we've been talking about in our parish strategic planning. A parish library or resource center, we have a lot of materials within our rectory and our offices that could be loaned out, that could be checked out, that we could be putting in the hands of our families to be used. The RCIA and adult education continues to grow, and our Bible studies continue to grow, and there's limited space to offer that. The reality is I don't really invite guest speakers to come because this is the only space we can do it, and it becomes uncomfortable once you get past about the 40 minutes. Our moms group, use of space, the catechesis of the Good Shepherd, one thing that we continue to want to grow here in providing a space for that. Children's play space and babysitting locations is something that we've continued to monitor, and the success of almost all of our adult programs is based on being able to offer some kind of babysitting that we found over the years. And so it's something we keep on the top of all of our ministries and making sure that we offer that, and obviously we have limited resources. We looked at the ability to broadcast church events into a parish center. Specifically, top of the list would be 4 o'clock Mass on Christmas Eve. It's packed, people outside most of the time. And we set up another 100 chairs, just trying to get people in here. We'd be able to project technology over there is something we'd seek to do. Adult social and community space. We have a phenomenal community here at St. Philomena, but the reality is the majority of our community happens outside of our campus, because we don't have community space to offer different activities for our families.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear this weed, though far off him, that hails a new creation. Through all the turmoil see